What's up, guys? I'm going to give you a video I talked about earlier, talking about calculating your macros and setting up a meal plan. This is based primarily on a recomposition, body recomposition program, which I'm writing. What recomposition is it's zigzagging between gaining muscle and trying to lose fat. Not lose weight, but lose fat. So you'll have, we try and go in 3-day spans of cycling of lower carbs, and then 4 days cycling higher carbs and calories in general, in hopes that the 4 days of setting up the higher carbs will allow for more muscle gain, and then the 3 days at lower carbs will facilitate the burning of more fat stores, allowing you to get skinnier. So a couple things we need to know. We need to know our current body weight and our current body fat. An estimate is good for this, but estimate on the high side. We also need to know our goal body weight and our goal body fat, and the number of meals per day that we want to eat. I prefer like a target of 6 meals per day. Some people go down to 5, some people go up to 7. I wouldn't go any more or less than that range. That's the gist of the recomposition and what we're doing. So some of the first things we have to do is we have to figure out our lean body mass. Our lean body mass is the body weight minus the fat weight, giving us the muscle and bone weight. For us, for our setup, I'm going to say 188 pounds at 12% body fat, and that's current. Goal is 195 pounds at 8% body fat. And then number of meals, 6. So now to figure out our lean mass, whether it be the goal or the current, all we have to do is take the body weight times body fat percent in decimal equals lean body mass. Okay, so for our setup, we're looking at 188 times 0.12 equals, I'll pull up my handy dandy calculator. I'm doing this in real time with you guys. Or not. For some reason that's not working. So we're going to do this by hand. That's going to be 6, trade 1, 2, 6, 7, trade 1, 2, 3, 8. What's up, guys? Today I'm going to give you a video about body recomposition and calculating macros and setting up a meal plan for body recomposition. Body recomposition is the process of zigzagging between weight loss or fat loss and lean mass gain. So for 4 days you go through a caloric surplus of about 100 to 200 calories, and on lean days, on fat loss days, you go to a deficit of about 500 calories. The purpose of this is to actually allow you to lose fat and gain muscle at what is perceived at the same time. Some things we need to know is how many meals we're going to eat, what our current body weight and body fat is, and what our goal body weight and body fat percentage will be. So I have some stuff written here. These are my current stats: 188 pounds and 12% body fat. My goal is 195 pounds at 8% body fat, and I want to stick with 6 meals. So the 6 meal area is really the target to hit. The 5 meals are on the low side, but you get a bigger meal portion. And the 7 meals, you get a smaller meal portion, but you're spreading out, and you get to eat about a half hour earlier each time, and you get an extra meal at the end of the night. So some things to think about. When we're recomping, we need to know what our lean body masses are. Your lean body mass is nothing more than your body weight minus your fat weight. So in our case, for myself, my current lean body mass, known as CLBM, is 88 times 12% in the decimal equals 22.56. That's 22.56 pounds of fat. So I take 188, subtract 22.56, and that equals 165.44 pounds of lean body mass. I do the same thing with our goal. Our goal is 95 at 8%, gives me a fat weight of 15.6 pounds. Take 195 pounds minus 15.6 pounds equals 179.4 pounds, and that's our goal lean body mass, or GLBM. With the information that we saw over here, I can now calculate my daily maintenance calories, and for that I use this cool little chart. I'm actually going to run myself at a little bit more of a deficit. I'm going to run it at 15 calories. I really should be running it at 16 calories per pound of lean body mass. So all I need to do is take this and make that 15. So then I have 165.44 pounds times 15 calories per pound, and that gives me 2481.6 calories. I then round that, and I rounded it down for no other reason than I want a little more weight loss than I do muscle gain. We have our maintenance calories figured out, our number of meals, our current body stats, our goal body stats, current lean body mass, goal lean body mass. So now what we need to do is figure out our recomp calories. So as I said, we're going to have 2 different scenarios. We're going to have our low calorie day, low carb day, and then we're going to have our high calorie, high carb day. We realistically should stay 3 days in low calorie and 3 to 4 days in high calorie. Okay, so for our non-workout days, we take our maintenance calories minus 500 calories. And that's 2450 for maintenance minus 500 equals 1950. So we need 1950 calories to go on our non-workout days. And then on our workout days, we'll have maintenance calories plus 100 extra calories, giving us a surplus. So it's 2450 plus 100 equals 2550. And so we need 2550 calories on workout days. Another way to figure this is with this chart as to how much weight loss you want and how much weight gain you want. And you can actually multiply your maintenance calories by this percentage, and then whatever that answer is added to your maintenance calories or subtracted from your maintenance calories. I make this real simple just by going 500 deficit and 100 surplus. Now we're going to do our recomp macros. That is our macronutrients. Our big three are our protein, our carbs, our carbohydrates, and our fats, our good fats. One thing we need to realize is our protein, for 1 gram of protein, it equals 4 calories. For carbohydrates, 1 gram equals 4 calories. And for fats, 1 gram equals 9 calories. This is going to be important because it's going to be used over in our math. So for our workout days, we need 1.6 grams of protein per pound of goal lean body mass. Earlier, whenever we went through all the math, we did the goal lean body mass and the current lean body mass. That's where these come into play now. So for carbohydrates, we need 1 gram of carbs per pound of current lean body mass. And then the remainder of our calories comes from fat in grams. Or an easier way to do that is to take our total calories and take 40% for protein, 25% for carbs, 35% for fats. If we actually use the upper numbers, if we take our protein, 1.6 grams times 179.4 gives us 287.04 grams of protein per day. Okay? Then we take our carbs, and that's 1 times 165.44 gives us 165.44 grams of carbs per day. So I make this little chart, and I have our grams and I have our calories. So I just take our protein, P, carbs, C, fats, F, and then our total. I write our total calories down here, and then I take our protein, fill in this block, and our carbs and fill in this block. I take this number, multiply it by 4 to come up with the calories for the protein. Take this number and multiply it by 4 to come up with the calories for carbohydrates. Add these two together, subtract from this number, and that gives me this number. 740 calories, 740.08 calories from fat. I take this number, divide it by 9, and I come up with 82.23 grams of fat per day. So I'll repeat this process for the non-workout days. The only thing that really changes for that is this number and this number. It now becomes for non-workout days. Protein is 1.35 grams per pound, and that's of the goal lean body weight. And carbs equals 0.5 grams per pound. So now that we have our daily allowance for proteins, carbohydrates, and fats and our total calories, we can calculate our mealtime calories and the split for those based off of these numbers. And you can see the split over here. So all I did was I took the 2,550 calories daily total and divided it by 6 because I have 6 meals, and that gave me 425 calories per meal. Now out of those 425 calories, I have 47.84 grams of protein, I have 27.57 grams of carbs, and I have 13.71 grams of fat per meal that I'm allotted. If you look, I just multiplied this by 4 calories per gram, and that gave me 191.36 calories of protein, 110.29 calories of carbs, and 123.34 grams or calories of fat, for a total of 425 per meal. So we'll do the same thing with our non-workout day listed over here, and I'll show you the actual setup of the meal plan with these numbers and how they affect everything. Now that we have all of these numbers, we're going to see how to make a menu, as I did in the other video, and then we're going to see how to use these numbers to make the menu into a meal plan. So the very first thing we do is we know we need 6 meals, so I'll usually write everything out. So my meal times are going to be breakfast, lunch, dinner. This one a lot of the time have lunch instead of having a breakfast meal, but that's just my personal preference. And I start eating at 6:30. And I eat every 3 hours on the hour. So breakfast 6:30, second breakfast 9:30, lunch at 12:30, lunch 2 at 3:30, dinner 1 at 6:30, dinner 2 at 9:30. Now it's time to actually write down what we're going to eat. So as I told you, I choose a lean protein for every meal. So in my case, it'll be egg whites, chicken, steak, chicken, and ground beef. All right, then I go through and I pick a starchy carb, your grains, bread, stuff of that nature. So for this one, I'm going to have oatmeal. This one I'll have rice. Rice. Let's do Ezekiel bread. pinto beans. Okay. Now comes the kind of challenging part, because I have to choose a simple carb, which are my fruits, the sugary fruits, for my breakfast. But I'm only having one breakfast on this day, so I'll only get one serving of simple carbs. For me, this morning it was a banana. Okay. Then for my chicken, I'm going to have peas. For this chicken, I'm going to have asparagus. For this one, I'm going to have broccoli. This one, I'll have cauliflower. And for this, I'll have onion, pepper mix. That's close to what I did on the last video. So now I have to use my chart. Let's see here. So I have a reference chart for calories, and it gives the macronutrient split for each food. So my target for this, we're going to say this is a workout day. So my target per meal is going to be 425 calories. So I'm shooting for 425. Okay. All right. Now I will. I'll actually pull up the Eat This Much app for the desktop, and then I'll plug and play. And once I plug and play, I'll show you exactly how I'm figuring this stuff out up on the board. So you can see how these numbers actually help us set up our menu and turn it into a meal plan. Some of the things that I wanted to talk about were the tapered meal plan. And what I mean by that is, as you go through the day, you want to start out the day with a higher number of calories and then finish the day with the least amount of calories. So what you can actually do is take your portions of starchy carbs out of these two meals, and then you can add them to any of these three meals. So I'll actually add one starch here, add one starch here, and that will give me exactly what I need as far as tapering this down. Then once I do that, you'll have one large meal, one large meal, one medium meal, one medium meal, and then two small meals. These two small meals will wrap up your day. It'll allow your body to burn the glucose and go from there. Another concept I wanted to talk about was the starchy carb serving, or the carb serving in general. So as we start doing this, we have two different carbs here. Those carbs equal one serving. So that's one serving size. Out of that one serving size, if it is a starchy carb and a simple carb together, it's 2/3 serving size starch, 1/3 serving size simple. Now for these meals here, your rice and your peas are one serving size. And the formula I have for that is 3/4 and 1/4 So our serving sizes for this, if it's a fibrous carb and a starchy carb together, I go 3/4 and 1/4. And I usually figure these numbers out over on this side as to how much of each carb selection I can have. So I'll take my carbs over here on the meals, and I'll actually figure out what the 1/3, the 2/3, the 3/4, and the 1/4 would be for that serving size. And that's basically how you set up your meal plan. Now I get a lot of questions as to my meal plans are pretty tasty. I don't usually have the same thing in 2 meals unless I want it. I have a large variety, but I typically only eat chicken, beef, and some turkey, but mostly chicken and beef. For my starchy carbs, I usually only have sweet potatoes, brown rice, white rice, and oatmeal. For my simple carbs, I'll usually have apples, bananas, pears. And then for my fibrous carbs, I'll have any of my vegetables, and so on. So what I like to do is I actually take my proteins and I marinate them. And a lot of people say, well, isn't a marinade really fattening? It depends on how you make your marinade. I make a lot of my marinades with apple cider vinegar. And then what I'll do is I'll pan cook. I'll just pan bake my chicken. And I actually will either roast or actually let it sit in its own juices and reduce down that way. And that will give me a little bit more flavor. So for today's meal, I had teriyaki chicken, snow peas, or green peas, and Asian rice. So I'll actually take my rice and I'll add something to it to flavor it. For that I used gluten-free soy sauce, light soy sauce. For the teriyaki sauce, it was actually a homemade gluten-free recipe. And then for one of my steak dishes today, I actually had fajita steaks with Spanish rice and peppers and onions and some peas. So that was something real simple to make. It gave it a lot of flavor and changed up a lot of different things. So don't be afraid to play around with recipes or seasoning your food. That's one of the big things. Is this isn't a diet. This is actually changing the way that you portion your food and how you address eating food. And it touches everything. And if you do it that way, it's going to be a lot less stressful whenever you go to do the quote-unquote diet. You can also cycle your splits. Like we talked about, this split was 45, 25, 35, or the 1.6 grams of protein per lean body mass, and so on and so forth. You can change those splits up, and you can go 40 grams of protein, 30 grams of protein, 50 grams of protein, you know, and you can fluctuate that way. You can go 50, 40, 30% protein. You can do carbs at 50, 40, 30. Fats, you can go upwards to like 35 and down as low as 15-ish. You know, carbs you can go down pretty low too, but you want to keep your protein up. And then through the day with your meals, you should be consuming 1 gallon to 2 gallons of liquid. For me, I consume about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons. And what that consists of is anywhere from a half a gallon of green tea to a full gallon of green tea, and then a half a gallon of straight water, and a half a gallon of my electrolyte mix. With these menus and meal plans and everything like that, you're going to burn a lot of electrolytes in the gym, so you need to replenish those. A simple way to do that is to make an electrolyte drink. What I actually use is half a gallon of water, half a gallon of Blue Frost Gatorade, BPI creatine, 2 scoops, and then BPI BCAAs at 3 scoops. And both of those are blue raspberry flavor. I take all that, I mix it in a gallon jug, shake it up real good, make sure it's all dissolved, and then I'll drink that throughout the day. And that'll replenish electrolytes, it'll help repair my muscles, and it'll also give me my creatine so that my muscles carry a little bit more water and can flush themselves a little bit easier. So they're getting a lot of the building blocks to build new muscle. They're being transported, the building blocks are being transported very easily, and then I'm also staying very hydrated, and my electrolytes are up.